How to break free from worldly expectations and overcome anxiety. In a world where we're constantly told who to be, how to look, and what to achieve, it's no surprise that many people struggle with anxiety. The pressure to meet society's ideals, whether it's about career, appearance, or relationships, can feel suffocating. These expectations often overshadow our true identity and create a fear of not being enough. But here's the empowering truth. We can free ourselves from these external pressures and begin living a life that feels genuinely our own. The first key is self-awareness. Too often, we chase dreams that were never ours but borrowed from family, culture, or curated social media feeds. Real freedom begins when you pause and ask, whose life am I really living? By peeling away the shoulds, you uncover your own voice. The one that's been quietly waiting beneath the noise. But awareness alone isn't enough. You also need self-compassion. Society might teach you that perfection is the price of worthiness, but that's a lie. Your value isn't in flawlessness. It's in your honesty, your courage, integrity, and your resilience. Speak to yourself like someone you love, because healing begins not in harshness, but in kindness. Then comes mindfulness, the gentle practice of returning to now. When we are caught up in endless striving and the race to meet expectations, we forget to live in the moment. But peace only lives in the present. Whether it's through deep breaths, meditation, or quiet reflection, mindfulness helps you reconnect to what matters. Your calm, your clarity, your life. Vulnerability is another hidden key. The more you try to appear perfect, the more alone you feel. But when you show up as your true self, uncurated and unfiltered, you open the door to real connection. You're not the only one struggling. You never were. And remember, this isn't a quick fix. It's a lifelong practice. Each time you choose alignment over approval, truth over image, you take a step closer to peace. Say no without guilt. Choose rest without shame. Surround yourself with those who see your soul, not just your resume. Breaking free from worldly expectations isn't just about calming anxiety. It's about stepping into your most powerful, authentic life. Not the one the world expects, but the one your heart knows is yours. To break free from worldly expectations, we must understand the root causes of the anxiety that stems from them. In today's fast-paced, hyper-connected world, the pressure to meet societal expectations has never been greater, and with it comes a silent epidemic, which is anxiety. The desire to fit in, to succeed and be seen as enough, often drives people to live up to standards that are neither realistic nor personally fulfilling. Here's 10 sure ways worldly expectations contribute to anxiety and how recognizing them can lead to greater self-awareness and peace. 1. The comparison trap. The illusion of perfection. One of the biggest culprits behind rising anxiety levels is the constant comparison to others. Especially on social media. People often compare their private struggles to the carefully curated highlight reels shared online. This creates a false sense of inadequacy, as individuals measure their worth against a distorted version of someone else's life. Much of what's posted on social platforms is a bid for validation, likes, approval, and admiration. Wealth, beauty, and success are often exaggerated or misrepresented. The result? An increase in self-doubt and anxiety, as people feel they're falling short of an unattainable standard. 2. Unrealistic standards and social pressure. Societal expectations about appearance, career, and relationships are often rooted in ideals that few can genuinely attain. Whether it's having the perfect body, flawless skin, high-paying job, or successful business, the pressure to conform to these expectations creates a constant feeling of not being enough. These pressures extend beyond vanity, academic and career expectations. Gender norms and family values can make people feel obligated to follow paths that don't align with their true selves. For instance, the idea of having children being a necessary part of adulthood, a belief known as pronatalism, can make those who choose not to have them feel judged or left out. 3. Internalized expectations and the weight of perfectionism. When societal norms become internalized, they morph into relentless self-demands. This internal pressure often leads to a harsh inner critic that questions your worth at every turn. Even in the absence of external judgment, individuals may feel constantly inadequate, leading to stress and emotional exhaustion. Perfectionism is a particularly harmful manifestation of this. Many people tie their self-worth to achievements or appearances. Any mistake feels like failure. And failure feels like personal rejection. Over time, this mindset fosters chronic anxiety, self-criticism, and emotional burnout. In a filtered world, perfection has become the new normal. Social media curates flawless bodies, perfect homes, ideal relationships, and anything less can feel like failure. We begin to believe that anything imperfect is unworthy, including ourselves. This chase for flawlessness breeds anxiety, self-doubt, and burnout. But perfection is an illusion. No one has it all together. Your imperfections are not flaws. They are features of your authenticity. 4. Fear of judgment. A silent burden. The fear of being judged or rejected creates a constant state of self-monitoring. People become hyper-aware of how they're perceived, often withdrawing from social settings or avoiding opportunities out of fear of failure. This fear erodes self-esteem, nurtures loneliness, and may spiral into depression. The need to appear perfect or successful prevents genuine connection and fosters isolation, deepening the emotional toll of anxiety. 5. The high cost of high expectations. High expectations, whether self-imposed or external, can lead to significant emotional strain. When goals become demands, failure to meet them results in guilt, shame, and hopelessness. For some, this constant striving leads to self-destructive behaviors or deteriorating mental health. The resulting symptoms can manifest physically, and these include disrupted sleep, headaches, heart problems, and weakened immunity, which are just some of the ways the body responds to prolonged emotional stress. 6. The myth of constant productivity. In today's hustle culture, rest is often mistaken for laziness. Society idolizes being busy and measuring worth by output, not inner peace. The pressure to be productive every waking moment leaves little room for stillness or self-reflection. This constant push to do more creates underlying anxiety due to the fear of falling behind. But here's the truth. Your value isn't defined by your efficiency. Again, your value isn't defined by your efficiency. Sometimes, growth happens not in action, but in rest, silence, and simply being. Let go of the lie that your worth is tied to how much you accomplish. Keep in mind, rest is not something you have to earn. It's a basic human need. It's a right without which you put your health in jeopardy. 7. Fear of missing out. Every scroll on social media can feel like a reminder of everything you're not doing. Friends traveling, peers getting promotions, others finding love. It's as easy to feel like your life is lacking. This fear of missing out breeds discontent, pushing you to chase experiences for the sake of validation, not fulfillment. Ironically, in trying to keep up with everyone else, you lose touch with yourself and what truly brings you joy. Remember, peace doesn't come from keeping up. It comes from tuning in. You're not behind. You're on your path. 8. The pressure to be always okay. There's an unspoken rule in society. Smile, stay strong, and keep going no matter how you feel inside. This emotional perfectionism tells us that vulnerability is weakness and sadness is failure. As a result, many bottle up their emotions, pretending everything's fine while battling silent storms within. This dissonance between how we feel and how we think we should feel can create immense inner tension and anxiety. It's perfectly normal not to feel okay all the time. It's okay to not be okay. Your humanity is not a flaw. It is your strength. 9. Living for the approval of others. From childhood, many are conditioned to seek approval. Gold stars, grades, compliments. As adults, this craving morphs into a need for external validation, promotions, applause, or online likes. The fear of disappointing others becomes a heavy burden. You may find yourself living a version of life designed by someone else's expectations. But living for approval is a game with no finish line. It leaves your authentic self in the shadows. Remember, you weren't born to impress. So live for truth, not applause. 10. The need to always have it figured out. Society pressures us to have a plan, direction, and an answer for everything, especially by a certain age. But life is messy, non-linear, and full of detours. The pressure to always know your next move creates crippling anxiety. It's okay to be a work in progress. You don't need to have everything sorted out right now. Uncertainty is part of the journey. Clarity often comes from motion, not stillness. You don't need to have the whole path, just the courage to take the next step. 11. Achievement addiction. When accomplishments become your identity, your worth rides on your next win. You become addicted to the high of achieving, and terrified of the low that follows. But you are not your resume. You are not your trophy shelf. Constantly needing to prove yourself to feel worthy is exhausting. You are valuable not because of what you do, but because of who you are. Rest in that truth, knowing that not every mountain needs to be climbed. 12. The stigma around asking for help. Worldly expectations often paint self-reliance as strength and needing help as weakness. But this toxic independence isolates people and fuels anxiety. You're told to tough it out or just push through, leaving no space for vulnerability. Yet healing begins with connection, not isolation. Asking for help isn't giving up. It's stepping up. Know that strong people feel deeply, fall hard, and ask for support when they need it, and that's real courage. 13. Confusing success with fulfillment. We're told that success looks like money, fame, or status, but what if success doesn't feel like joy? Many people achieve what society calls success and still feel empty inside. This disconnect between external success and inner fulfillment causes anxiety, because deep down, we know something is missing. True peace begins when you define success by your own standards, purpose, connection, meaning, and well-being. At the end of the day, success is not a finish line. It's a feeling. So, choose a life that feels good, not just one that looks good. A path to healing. Now that we understand the sources of our anxiety, we can get on our path to healing. By rejecting unrealistic standards, we open the door to authenticity. Letting go of societal expectations doesn't mean abandoning ambition. It means defining success on your own terms. Surround yourself with people who uplift your true self and not a performance of it. Freedom from anxiety begins when you stop trying to be who the world expects, so start becoming who you truly are. Here's 10 powerful ways to free yourself from the weight of worldly expectations. 1. Reconnect with your life's purpose. Rediscover what drives you. When you have a clear purpose, life becomes more meaningful and manageable. You gain direction, confidence, and resilience. Qualities that buffer against anxiety. Purpose keeps you grounded, reminding you that your worth isn't defined by the opinions of others, but by the deeper meaning behind your journey. So, live intentionally, not reactively. Finding your purpose requires introspection, integrity, and honesty. Ask yourself, what brings you joy? What ignites your passion? What do you want to contribute to the world? Write it down. Revisit it often. Let it guide your decisions, your habits, and even your relationships. When you know where you're going, the noise of others' opinions fades into the background. Purpose is more than a destination. It is a compass for navigating life with grace and strength. 2. Stay rooted in who you are. Know yourself and stay true to that. The world constantly pushes us to fit a mold, but peace comes from being authentically you. When you compromise your identity to please others, it chips away at your confidence and joy. Own your values, passions, and boundaries. You are not here to meet everyone's expectations. You are here to live your truth. Staying rooted requires courage. It may mean disappointing others or walking a different path. But the reward is inner peace. Embrace your quirks, your imperfections, your unique perspective. Let go of roles that were never yours to play. Reclaim your time, your voice, and your space. When you live from your core, you attract people and opportunities aligned with who you truly are. 3. Embrace self-love and say no without guilt. Self-love is not selfish. It's essential. When you love yourself, you protect your peace. You no longer say yes out of obligation but make decisions that align with your needs. Surround yourself with people who uplift you and allow yourself the grace to rest, to heal, and to grow. Saying no is not rejection. It's redirection toward what truly serves you. Developing self-love is a daily practice. Affirm your worth. Forgive yourself. Be kind to your body. Speak gently to your mind. When you cultivate a relationship with yourself based on love and respect, everything else begins to shift. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for how others treat you. 4. Set strong boundaries. Boundaries are a form of self-respect. They protect your energy and clarify how you wish to be treated. Without them, you risk emotional exhaustion, resentment, and loss of self. Learn to communicate your limits calmly and clearly. Boundaries don't push the right people away. They teach them how to love you better. Boundaries help you prioritize what matters. They ensure that you have enough space for rest, creativity, and personal growth. Whether it's turning off your phone after a certain hour or saying no to toxic relationships, boundaries allow you to reclaim your power. Practice saying, "This is what I need to feel safe and respected." Honor that. 5. Define your own values and standards. Don't judge your path by someone else's standards. Your journey is your own. Craft your personal blueprint for success, grounded in your own values, goals, and vision. Whether in relationships, career, or self-development. Set realistic expectations that honor your well-being. This creates clarity, reduces stress, and keeps you moving forward with purpose. When your values guide your decisions, life feels less chaotic and more intentional. Define what integrity, success, love, and happiness mean to you. Your standards are your self-respect in action. Don't lower them to fit in. Instead, raise them to match the life you truly desire. 6. Know your worth and don't settle. You are inherently valuable. When you recognize that, you stop settling for less. Less respect, less love, less opportunity. Knowing your worth builds confidence, protects against manipulation, and fuels your pursuit of what you deserve. Reflect on your strengths, honor your achievements, and demand nothing less than what aligns with your value. Low self-worth often stems from past wounds or societal comparisons. Begin healing by acknowledging your growth. Keep a journal of your successes. When you see yourself clearly, you stop depending on others to define you. 7. Redefine failure as growth. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a stepping stone to it. Let go of the fear that mistakes define you. Everyone falls short sometimes, but resilience is built in the rebound. Embrace failure as feedback, not finality. When you stop living in fear, you start living boldly. Failure teaches humility, perseverance, and adaptability. The most successful people in the world failed many times before they succeeded. What set them apart was their ability to rise again. See each setback as a lesson. Ask, what did this teach me? How can I use this to grow? And when you're ready, rise and give it another shot. 8. Let go of the desire for approval from others. Seeking approval from others is a losing game. It makes your self-worth dependent on people who may never truly see you. Turn inward. Validate yourself through integrity, growth, and self-awareness. Celebrate your wins, define your goals, and detach from likes, comments, and praise. You don't need permission to believe in your greatness. When you stop living for applause, you start living for fulfillment. This shift changes everything. Instead of being driven by fear of judgment, you're guided by purpose. Instead of chasing validation, you build confidence from the inside out. You are enough. Not because someone else says so, but because you believe it. 9. Practice mindfulness and gratitude. Be here. Now. Mindfulness grounds you in the present, shifting your focus away from worries about the past or future. Gratitude shifts your perspective from lack to abundance. Together, they create a powerful mindset that boosts happiness and calms anxiety. Notice the little things. Count your blessings. Appreciate your journey. Mindfulness isn't about silencing your thoughts. It's about observing them without judgment. It invites you to slow down, breathe, and reconnect with what matters. Gratitude rewires your brain to notice beauty, even in hard times. Start with 3 things you're thankful for each day. The more you practice, the more peace you invite into your life. 10. Seek help and celebrate progress. Healing doesn't always mean doing it alone. Therapy, mentorship, or a supportive community can provide the tools and insights you need. Celebrate even the smallest wins along the way. They matter. And remember, people are usually too preoccupied with their own lives to judge you. Stop living for others. Live for you. There is strength in asking for help. It means you value your well-being enough to invest in it. Professional support can help you unpack limiting beliefs and break cycles of anxiety. As you grow, pause to acknowledge how far you've come. Celebrate your courage, your resilience, and your progress. 11. Stop measuring success by society's metrics. We've been conditioned to equate success with status, wealth, and public recognition, but that's not everyone's truth. Real success is living a life that aligns with your values, passions, and inner peace. When you chase society's version of success, you often neglect your mental health, relationships, and even your true dreams. Redefine success on your own terms. If success to you means peace, family, creativity, or service, honor that unapologetically. The moment you stop living to impress and start living with intention, anxiety loses its grip and fulfillment takes its place. Remember, happiness is not the result of success. It's the foundation for it. When you find joy in what you do, success will follow. 12. Disconnect to reconnect. Constant stimulation from social media, news, and digital noise keeps our minds in a state of anxiety. Sometimes, the best gift you can give yourself is silence. Disconnect from the noise of the world and reconnect with your inner voice. Schedule regular digital detoxes, even just a few hours a week. And use that time to journal, walk in nature, meditate, or reflect. In that space, clarity returns. You'll be reminded of who you are beneath the expectations. Peace doesn't live in a screen. It lives in stillness. 13. Heal the inner child. Much of the anxiety we feel as adults comes from unmet emotional needs in our younger years. The need to be seen, heard, accepted, and loved unconditionally. The pressure to be perfect or good enough is often the voice of our wounded inner child still trying to earn worth. Healing begins when you learn to reparent yourself, offering compassion, validation, and care to the parts of you that still carry childhood wounds. Speak kindly to yourself. Embrace vulnerability. Give yourself the love you once needed. When your inner child feels safe, your adult self becomes stronger and more resilient. 14. Create more than you consume. We live in a culture of overconsumption, constantly absorbing information, opinions, and images that often don't align with our truth. This flood of content can leave us feeling disconnected and anxious. Flip the script by creating. Whether it's writing, painting, cooking, building something with your hands, or dreaming up your next big idea. Creation puts you back in the driver's seat. It reminds you that you're not just here to watch life happen. You're here to make something of it. Creation cultivates confidence, purpose, and joy. These are powerful antidotes to anxiety. 15. Create a life that feels so fulfilling you never have to run away from it. One of the most empowering ways to fight back against anxiety and worldly pressure is to intentionally build a life that feels good on the inside. Not just one that looks good on the outside. Ask yourself regularly, what kind of life brings me peace? What environment allows me to thrive? Then make small, deliberate changes. Simplify your schedule, choose joy over pressure. Prioritize rest and connection. You deserve a life that feels like home. And the truth is, when your soul feels safe, the world's noise fades into the background. Lastly, freeing yourself from societal pressure isn't about escaping the world. It's about rising above its noise. It's a journey of self-trust, emotional resilience, and intentional living. When you let go of who you think you're supposed to be, you make space to become who you truly are. You don't have to prove your worth. You just have to remember it. This path won't always be easy. Some days, you'll question everything. But on those days, return to your purpose. Revisit your values. Take a deep breath. And remind yourself that your life is your own. Not a performance. Not a comparison. Not a race. But a beautiful, evolving journey of becoming. You deserve to live a life that feels good on the inside, not just one that looks good on the outside. Give yourself permission to do just that. If you felt inspired by this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.